Good morning. Namaste. So we're going to go over a couple of things. So there's terms out there around in the community that you've heard, like energy workers, light workers, but what does this actually mean? So I'm going to kind of go over some things that through my experience about 6 months ago, then about a month after my full awakening, I started to understand, I started to develop, and so this video is going to be about taking that energy or light work, and really breaking it down to exactly the details on how that actually works. So as you're becoming awakened and you're starting to open up a lot of these different chakra systems, you can actually go into it and understand what this is through your experience and see how this can be developed with you as well. Now this is going to be basically surrounded through the third eye. So whenever my energies had my full awakening and my divine energy went all the way up through my systems, and it awoken and went up to my third eye, and it opened up and awakened my third eye. And about a few weeks after that happened, I started to feel and sense energies. Now sensing energies, that's one thing. Being sensitive to the different things around you, that's one thing. So people sense energies, okay, let's say I can feel energies, I can feel presence. Maybe you can feel it on the standing up on the tingling sensations and different things through your body. But this is going to be a very, very physical, practical application that I've come to understood through my own experience, through opening up my third eye. So whenever you open up your third eye, energies start to flow. For me, it really, really helped out because it really turned my entire forehead. I'm going to come up to you a little bit. Put my forehead into almost a sonar system, okay? And the way I've kind of understood it is, let's say your entire frontal lobe, including this point right here, and the middle point right here is a sonar system, okay? And whenever a sonar system comes out, you see a dot, you kind of see a dot, and kind of as it gets closer to the middle, that's where it's engaged, okay? Whenever that's engaged. Now, if you see it on a sonar, maybe it's over here somewhere, well, you need to go over there for it to be center pointed, okay? So take that into consideration. Now, through my application, whenever I brought my energies up to my third eye and it really expanded and these things started to develop, I started to feel a little ball. It's like a little ball of energy kind of floating through, and you kind of see different videos, people talking about the third eye, Kundalini awakening, Kundalini syndrome, that type of thing. Well, this one actually, you start to feel like little energies running around your forehead whenever your Kundalini is opened. Now, whenever that divine Kundalini energy, however you want to call it, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, whenever that divine energy gets up into this area, it starts to do different things. Now, whenever this happened to me, I was actually looking at my significant other, and I said, hey, come here for a moment, because I can feel and sense those energies. And whenever that came out, that ball started to be very, very developed within my head. So whenever I started to feel that, I started to understand and started to do like practical application to test what this was going on. So I found that whenever I would move to a certain point to get to where something, maybe an energy point actually is, let's say it was over here. Well, whenever I moved to that point, it moved to that center point. So this became this right here. Now it's here. This became that point, and that ball of energy that was there went and centralized, and it started to have a very pressurized feeling right there. So I knew that it was there. So I knew that was the point that I needed to focus on. So using all of that was really interesting. So that's what the energy and light workers what actually happened to me. Now, to take this a little bit further, whenever you are actually, Sarah, this is going to be my model. So Sarah is my significant other. This is who I actually, whenever she was sitting down, I called her over and I said, hey, come over here for a second, lay down, I want to try something. So whenever I was trying these different things with you were just laid down and I was massaging your back. But she had no idea kind of how I was finding different points. But we found through this trial and error kind of way is whenever I would move over to a point, well, for one, let's back up a moment. Thumb. I use my thumb. Thumb means fire. Thumb is your fire element. Whenever we're trying to heal something, we usually use heat or fire. Your thumb, what I found, thumb always was pinpointing that location a lot easier. And so that fire element in your thumb, both thumbs, thumbs up, I would be able to utilize that. So whenever I was going over, can you turn around a little bit? Go turn around all the way. So whenever I was going over her back, I started to feel different things on my body, on my forehead, into those areas, just like that GPS or sonar system that I was talking about. So I would just put my hands over her and say, okay, I can feel as I got closer to this point right here, this right here, I can feel my energies get to this centralized location on target. So I knew I was the right point. But my intuitive feeling, seeing, okay, well, I got to this point, well, I know, well, that's her heart chakra. And I thought, oh, I can feel through sensing, but I also felt physically these energies, of balls of energy, pinpointed in location, and it centralizing to this spot right here. Now, after that heart chakra, after, you go to these different points, but taking my thumb, I would take my thumb, move it down, and then whenever I find a location, because let's say I was right here. Well, if I wanted to be over here, I would feel that energy maybe over here or maybe over here, and then I would change, and as I would move, my energies would move closer to that location on where it was actually going, okay? And then that pulsating feeling, oh, I'm locked on target. Whenever I was locked on target, I then would take it and I would press it down. And then that pressing down, now, whenever I knew it was maybe it's a massive blockage within a pressure point, maybe a blockage within one of your 72,000 energy points that run through your meridian lines, because those are real. Your meridian lines, acupuncture, those are actual real things. I know because I feel it within my body, going through my entire body all day, every day. So I can feel my meridian lines from the top of my head, drenching all the way, that solar energy flowing through my meridian lines in different places throughout my entire body all day, every day now. So it's easy to find, connect one point to another. But whenever I would press that point, that pressure would start to release. And I knew, well, that I was doing something there, because the more I would press on that point, and if it was a really strong point, I knew I had to press harder, because it was doing something to that point to release what it needed to release. But I was feeling it through that third eye point, okay? So this happens all over your body. This can happen on the bottom of your toes, the crown of your head, all over you, from any point, because your energy points and your meridian lines and your pressure points run through your entire physical being, okay? We just don't feel it. We don't see it, we don't feel it, so we act as if it's not there. But the reality is it is there. You do have blockages. Whenever you go to an acupuncturist, they take actual physical needles and put them in the exact same places I'm talking about. So whenever I'm pressing on those things and relieving those pressures from those energy points, that is as if a acupuncturist would take that needle and put that and to release that. But they're doing it at more of a physical level. I'm feeling it more of an energy level and a light working piece. So whenever you hear light workers, being awakened, energy workers, energy healing, what does that actually do? What's actually happening there? So whenever I feel it, I can physically feel it and sense what's happening from these different energies that are running through the frontal lobe from what's actually taking place. Now I've found as though that this center point of your energy point is like a screen. It's like a TV screen. Whenever you release a lot of these points and meridian lines and having their energy really open up in these areas, it really does become like a TV screen. That's where a lot of people have like inner visions. They can close your eyes, do this, and see actual projections of different dimensions and different things. That's actually real. I know, I've experienced it. I experience it every single day. If you have any questions about that, leave a comment below. Ask me a question, and maybe we can go in depth about what you're more interested in. But taking that in consideration, hopefully that really ties a lot of pieces together on, the actual practical application of what light or energy work actually is. So whenever you're going and looking at crystals, you're feeling energies, these different things, feeling your energy body. What is your energy body? So your energy body is a real physical thing. And hopefully this gives you a better understanding on what's really happening on how people, light workers, energy workers, are actually accomplishing what these actual things are. It'll be really great to see science dive in to see, okay, let's do a brain scan on what's actually happening. Whenever somebody says, I have energies and different things running through my physical forehead, you put a brain scan in there when all these things are happening, there should be some connections there with science, because what I've learned was the points that I was touching, I didn't know this, but she was telling me, oh yeah, that's great, hit that point even harder. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I had my eyes closed. I had no idea what I was doing. It was strictly learning something new that I was trying to expand and find out what it was. But from her perspective, I was hitting knots and points, sore points and different things from her physicality. So we understand that whenever we have blockages within our chakras and we do not start to clear those things up, it comes forth to get our attention more in a physical level. So if you have a blockage somewhere, then maybe have a tight place here, tight place there, or maybe a sore spot there, or maybe in a really big knot somewhere. Well, that is the projection and manifestation of that energy flowing through and that blockage that it can't get through. So it turns into a knot. It turns into a sore spot through your muscles, through your tendons, through your different points. So now if you have a big knot, well, a lot of these things we can catch before it gets there. So this is a different new type of massage. I know this is ancient knowledge, very esoteric, because not very many people know about it. I only know about it because through my awakening, through my meditations and different understandings and energies being released through my body, different abilities and different understandings and perspectives change, they increase, they heighten. So as these different things come up, it's true, it's real. So this is a great perspective as whenever science starts to connect more with what's really happening here, we can catch things before they happen. I mean, how many times has somebody went to a chiropractor that really didn't need to go to a chiropractor? Well, if we can get to an energy healer that could really get to these things before it turns into a major issue, well, we would just be healthier and lively more naturally because we're connecting to the source of something before it becomes more of a development. Now we're being very proactive with what we can do instead of being reactive and it's already too late, already having a problem that now you have to go and get surgery on because you didn't have an understanding on what was the true cause of what that physicality turned into. So I know that was very in-depth. This is a very, like I said, very esoteric. It's very different, but I think been doing this for about 6 months or so, playing with and understanding, finding out, and really doing some good practical application and testing it out, to seeing that this is real. This is what's really going on. And it doesn't take anybody to go to school, to get a certificate, or any of that stuff. This is a natural ability that everybody has access to. It's just like, if I didn't know about a book, but I wanted to research something, once somebody told me about that book, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna go get it and I'm gonna read about it. Well, there's no books involved. The only book, the open book, you need to open yourself up and open that book up and let those true dormant energies start to flow, and these things start to come into pass. Because a lot of these things that I want to do on somebody else, it helps me confirm what's actually happening from their perspective. Now I can take that same energy of light working and healing to myself, onto my own body. So if I wanted some points on I wanted to take my thumb, fire, thumbs up, and start to press it around my body, it starts to heal myself. And this is how we truly, practically are able to heal ourselves before it gets into an issue that it's now a surgery and doctors are giving you medication and just junk that you really don't need, that serves a purpose. We don't have it doesn't serve us a purpose anymore. So whether you want to understand and believe, hopefully this giving you at least a point to start asking more questions. Start asking more questions to what's really possible out there. Do you have anything you want to add from your perspective?
No, I have nothing else to add right now.
Beautiful. So I hope you have a beautiful day. If you have any questions, please subscribe. Click the like button if you like this video and show it informational. Share it around. Hopefully more people will start to show more things like this. A very practical application and not so hush-hush stuff that people think, oh well, wake up, consciousness, but what's really diving dive in? What does it mean to heal somebody for energy? Well, this is the real way a real energy worker, or whatever you want to call yourself, actually heals somebody with energies, okay? So, have a beautiful day, guys. See you next time.